So we're gonna do a quick review here, inshallah. What is tajweed? So someone tell me the linguistic definition and the technical definition as well, inshallah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead. You can type it, you can open your mic and answer, it's fine.
Is it to read better?
Okay, so linguistic definition of tajweed, right, is to do something good. Okay, to do something good. And what is the technical definition of tajweed? Who can tell me the technical definition of tajweed? According to
to recite with correct makharij and sifat of the letters.
Okay. That's it. Yeah. So you guys don't need to hesitate, just say it, inshallah. So reciting with correct makharij and sifat. Very good. Now, what is makharij? It's right here in front of you, right?
It's the articulation point of the letters.
It's the articulation point of the letter. That's correct, right? And what is sifat?
Characteristics of the letters.
Very good. That's correct. So we went through makharij, sifat. We started off with a few makharij here, right? Let's go ahead and revise real quickly. We did the makharij of the throat. So we did 3 makharij, the letters of the throat, right? So we have 1 makharij here. You guys can see this here. We did 1 makharij here, right? The bottom. What is the lowest makharij here? Or the bottom of the throat?
Sorry, brother, your audio isn't too good.
Sorry?
Your audio isn't too good. It keeps breaking up.
I'm breaking up here.
Yeah.
Can everyone else hear me?
We can hear you, but it's coming and going.
Okay, so can everyone else hear me fine, or is it just I want to make sure it's not to your side? Can everyone else hear me okay, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay now? Yeah, the voice is okay now?
Yes,
Sounds
better.
clear.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So we did the makharij of the throat. We started off with the makharij of the throat. We divided the throat into 3 parts, right? The top, middle, and lower part of the throat. Can someone tell me the makharij of the lowest part of the throat? What are the letters that comes from the lowest part of the throat?
Hamza, ha.
Hamza, ha, very good. Middle part of the throat?
Rain and Ain.
Ain and ha. Okay, and the top part of the throat? So we have Hamza. It looks like you guys need to revise a little bit more, right? Hamza, ha, Ain, ha. Okay. And then we did some exercise as well, if you guys remember, right? We used the other book and we did some exercises. Do you guys recall that? Or did anyone actually practice the exercises from the other book? If not, it's okay, just type in no. Just so I know where everyone's at. So if I need to do more of a review, or I can keep going. So far, I'm getting no responses. So does that mean everyone practiced? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I've just started today, but inshallah I'll catch up.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you mentioned that. And what about others, those who attended the previous sessions?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, what? Alhamdulillah, you practice, or alhamdulillah, you don't practice? Okay, so I have at least 22 people here. I'm only getting 3 responses. So you guys need to participate. So please, you can type in the chat if you don't want to, say it verbally, that's fine. Did everyone practice? equals yes, 2 equals no. So I'm talking about the second lesson, the one we had the exercises. Okay, so we have, okay, let's go do a quick review here, inshallah. So we have the makharij, right? The makharij or the makharij is where the letter comes out from. And from this, you understand that it's very important to know, the makharij or the point of articulation, right? Because if you don't know the makharij or the point of articulation, then you don't know where the letter is coming from. You won't be able to recite it properly. We have 17 makharij, okay? 17 makharij. And this is according to Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi. And I also mentioned here another name, that Ibn al-Jazari. And I gave the homework last time. Do you guys remember what the homework was? I mentioned a note here. So I said, try to read about Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi and yes, thank you. Yes, Sister Abida, very good. To read about these two scholars, okay? So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. Just learn 5, 6, points. It's very important to know, some main figures of that school, right? So for example, Ibn al-Jazari, this is a name that you'll hear again and again, right? Inshallah, if Allah allows us, we'll go ahead and teach this in the future as well, inshallah. So try to read about Imam Ibn al-Jazari, who he was, where is his status in tajweed and so on. Okay, so we covered makharij number 1. We said this is the empty space in the mouth and throat, okay? So we have the empty space here, right? The oral cavity, okay? It's called oral cavity, or it's called, you can say empty space. In Arabic, it's called al-jawf, okay? So let's see here, right in Arabic, al-jawf, which means an empty space, okay? So if you can look here, you'll see that it starts from here all the way. So from this, we get these stretched letters. What are these stretched letters? Alif.
The merge.
Correct. So we have the 3 stretched letters. We have alif, waw, and ya, right? If obviously it's always preceded by a fatha, so you're stretching the waw preceded by a dhamma, and the ya preceded by a kasra, e. Okay, so now it's not the sound, but the sound that comes after it. So it's, for example, it's not the ba, okay, not the b sound, sound that comes after it. So for example, listen, ba, the sound, right? Or boo, be, that stretch sound you hear, this comes from the empty space, okay? Good. All right, then we did the 3 makharij, okay? We did the 3 makharij. We did, let's see here, okay. We did here the lower part of the throat, okay? So this is the part, right? We divide into 3 parts, right? The throat. Lowest part of the throat, we have the hamza and ha. Middle part, we have the ayn and ha. And the upper throat, we have ghayn and kha. Now, we did a little bit of practice last class. Okay, so everyone recite with me the lower part of the throat. So we're talking from here. Read these 2 letters. Okay. And you can repeat. Okay, you can keep your mic on or off. That's fine. Just repeat after me. And ha. One more time. The hamza. And ha. Be very careful. You're not saying ha, because that comes from the middle part of the throat. We have ayn and ha. Okay, so everyone repeat. Ayn. I said, put your finger in the middle part, right, where the little bump is, the Adam's apple, and say ayn, and then ha. Ayn, ha. Top part of the throat, we have ghayn and kha. Put your finger. Ghayn, kha. Okay, so those are the letters we did, right? So now I'm going to open up the other PDF. Just bear with me one moment here. Okay, can you see this, the book here?
Yes.
Hold on a second. Which book is this? How do I close this? Okay, I just need to find the book. Yes, okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share again. Okay, can you see the book here? Can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the exercise we did last class, right? We did the letters of the throat, right? So the lower part of the throat, we said to color it in red. You could print it off and just use a highlighter or something, or a color. The middle of the throat, blue, and the upper end, green. Okay, or you can do whatever you want. You can underline the lower part, you can circle middle, right? Whatever you like. You can write the line on top, it's fine. So we did this here, okay? So I'm going to ask someone here who did this exercise last time to go ahead and do this here, okay? So how are you going to do it? I did it last time. So for example, ash-shahru, right? You're going to read the word ash-shahru and you'll say ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Al-haramu, ha comes from the middle part of the throat. Bish-shahri, ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Al-harami, ha comes from the middle part of the throat. Wal-hurumatu, ha comes from the middle part of the throat. And that's it, right? So you're only doing the letters that we covered. So someone go ahead, open their mic and do it from here. Go ahead. Who can do the exercise?
So for minute to the Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, Walaikum. Go ahead.
So for minute to the ayn from the middle of the throat.
Yes, good. Keep going, yeah.
So alaykum, ayn from the middle of the throat. Fa'tadu, ayn from the middle of the throat. Alayhi, ayn from the middle of the throat, and her from the bottom of the throat.
Good.
Ma'tada, ayn from the middle of the throat.
Good.
Alaykum, ayn from the middle of the throat.
Good.
Wattaqullah, her from the bottom of the throat.
Right, so the ha in the word Allah. Allah, ha. Okay, go ahead.
Wa'lamu, ayn from the middle of the throat.
Good.
Annallaha, hamza from the bottom of the throat.
Good.
And her from the bottom of the throat.
Good.
Ma'al muttaqeen, ayn from the bottom of the throat. I'm from the middle of the throat.
Middle of the throat, good. Okay, very good, mashallah. That's it. Yeah. Who is this? Brother, what's your name?
Yahya.
Brother Yahya. Okay, Jazakallah khair for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was Brother Yahya. I need someone else to do from here. Open your mic, tell me your name, and go ahead. Who can do the next one, number 2?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Walaikum salam. Go ahead, number 2.
My name is Abida and I will give it a try, inshallah.
Okay, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والخامسة. The kha is from the upper part of the throat.
Good.
Then anna, the hamza at the beginning of anna is from the lower part of the throat. Then غضب الله, the ghain is from the upper part of the throat, and the ha in Allahi is from the lower part of the throat. Then alayha, the ayn is from the middle part of the throat, and the ha is from the lower part of the throat. Then in kana, the e, the hamza is from the lower part of the throat, and then minas sadiqin, there is no letter from the
No,
throat.
there. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Yes, Jazakallah khairan. Someone else, go ahead, number 3. You see, it's not too difficult. The point of this is you're repeating it, and I mentioned this last time, that this is ilm, this is knowledge, right? So don't take this lightly, right? Everything starts from the letters, right? If you know the letters properly, you build upon it. We're starting with the makharij, where the letter comes from. Then we're going to go into the sifat, the quality of the letter, right? And then we move on to actually reading the full word, and then we move on to the other, like when you connect the words together. You have the rules of tajweed, you have ikhfa, you have idgham, you have the mad, and so on. All right, number 3, go ahead. And of course, this is going to help you in the future, right? If you do this and you analyze it in this manner, right? I could just teach the class and just tell you, okay, here are the letters, there's makharij, there's sifat, that's it, right? And then 2 months later, when someone asks you where you're teaching, they say, where is the ha come from or the ra? You won't have a clue. What's the makharij of what's the sifat of the ra? I don't know. I learned it sometime. But if you study it properly in this manner and you do the exercises again and again, inshallah, it will stick with you. Okay, so this is why we're having the students do this. All right, go ahead. Someone else, please.
Wait, can I go?
Go ahead, please. Yes.
ويعذب, the ayn from the middle part of the throat. يعذب المنافقين, there's nothing there. والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات الظانين, nothing is there.
Nope.
Billahi, the ha.
You can only just read the part where the letters are.
Okay, the ha from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
The amza from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
The next one, ayn from the middle part of the throat.
Good.
The hamza on the from the lower part of the throat.
This is in the word da'ira.
Da'ira, yeah.
Okay.
And the other hamza as well as sa'i from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
So,
But you're also you're missing the ha here. Where does the ha come
The
from?
ha, yeah. From the lower part of the throat.
Excellent. Keep going.
Okay. The going from the upper part of the throat.
One more time. Ghayn.
Going.
Ghayn.
Going.
It's that little, it's the gurgling sound, right? When you gargle.
Yeah, go.
Okay. And the kha comes from there as well. So when you say the kha properly, most likely you'll say the ghayn. And this is something to remember. If you have the letter coming from the same makharij, if you're having difficulties with one letter, then try to say the other letter in the same makharij. For example, when you're having difficulties, say ha, or vice versa, ha, and then try to say ayn. Okay.
Okay.
And ghayn.
Yeah, going from the upper part of the throat.
Good.
The ha from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
The ayn from the middle part of the throat.
Good.
And yeah, the ayn as well from the middle part of the throat.
Okay.
The ha from the lower part of the throat.
And the ha here as well. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, the hamza from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
Yeah, the ayn as well from the middle part of the throat.
Good.
The ha from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
And yeah, the ha as well from the lower part of the throat.
Good.
The hamza from the lower part of the throat. That's
All
it,
right.
I think.
Yeah, good. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for that. Very good. All right. That was exercise 3. Someone else, 4.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
By the way, everyone's going to do this anyways, right? So we're going to go into the breakout rooms, and I want everyone to do it, right? Even if it's a portion of it, that's fine. Like if you're doing, just from here to here, right? And just someone else goes, that's fine. And if you're not comfortable doing it now, we're going to go to the breakout room. Sisters will be with inshallah, Ustada Nabila, and then we have the other breakout room. So everyone, I want everyone to do this. Yeah, Hamza.
The hamza from the bottom part of the throat.
Good.
Ja'alu, the ayn from the middle part of the throat.
Good.
Lillahi, the hamza. Shuraka'a.
The Hamza from?
The hamza from the bottom part of the throat.
Good. And the ha from here in Lillahi?
From the bottom part of the throat.
Good.
Then khalaq, the kha from the upper part of the throat.
Good.
Then khalqihi, the kha also from the upper part of the throat.
And it's qi. Qihi with a qaf. We'll get to that makhraj, but try to say qi and not ki. Okay.
Okay. Qihi. The hamza from the bottom part of the throat.
You mean, yeah. Okay. Good.
Fatashabaha, the hamza from the bottom part of the throat.
The ha, yes, the ha. Okay.
Yes, sorry, ha, sorry. Then al-khalqu, the kha from the upper part of the throat.
Good.
Alayhim, the ayn from the middle part of the throat.
Excellent.
Then the ha from the bottom part of the throat.
Perfect. Okay.
Qulillahu, the ha from the bottom part of the throat.
Good.
Then khaliqu, the kha from the upper part of the throat.
Good.
Kulli shay'in, the hamza from the bottom part of the throat. Wa huwa, the ha from the bottom part of the throat. Wal wahid, the ha from the middle part of the throat. Then al-qahhar, then the hamza from the bottom part of the throat.
Jazakumullah khair. You're getting confused from between hamza and ha. So this is ha.
Yes.
Hamza is like that. Yeah. That's good, mashallah. Very good. One point I want to raise here, or a thought you may have in mind as well. Like some of you may be teachers and teaching others, right? Everyone's at a different level. So a question may arise that, let's say a student is unable to, for example, say the kha, okay? And you're the teacher, you're saying, say kha, 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 and they're repeating it, they're saying kha, for example, or they can't say the qaf. That's fine, okay? That's completely fine. You as a student, let's say you're unable to pronounce a letter properly, it's okay. You cannot expect, and this is just a note for the teachers as well who are teaching with us. Don't try to expect, or don't expect the student to read the letter completely or perfectly fine right now within a matter of seconds. It's not going to happen. Okay. But what we do want, and this is important for the students as well. Let's say you're saying a letter wrong. Okay. So let's see here. Let's say, for example, the letter qaf. You're pronouncing it like kaf, for example, or in between a qaf and kaf. Okay. It's not where we want it to be. Okay. So let's say week number one. Okay. Week number one, you start off and you're reading the letter, and the teacher will judge you or something. Let's say you're reading the letter at 30%. Okay. Meaning that you still need 70% to work on. Let's say within 2-3 weeks or a month or 2 months, you're not at 50%. Is that good or not? Yes or no? Answer.
Yes.
Of course, right? Let's say 4 or 5 months from now, you're at 80%. Is that not better than where you started? Of course it is, right? Just a note to keep in mind, be patient. Be very, very patient. What happens, unfortunately, we have even some scholars, right? They've been like muftis, mashallah, very knowledgeable, but they cannot pronounce the letters. Why? Because they didn't take the time to correct it. Fixing the letters and pronunciation takes a lot of time. Okay, so you have a syllabus. Alhamdulillah, you're all here. You're trying to study, inshallah. We're all getting rewarded for it. But be very patient. Okay, it's not going to happen right away. That's fine. Okay, like I said, it may take weeks. It may take months even. Okay, but the important thing is that you're always practicing. So that's a note for the students and for teachers. And for those students who do not wish to practice or are not practicing, then please go ahead and listen to lesson number 1, right, where we talked about the ruling of tajweed. Perhaps that may give you some motivation to actually practice. This is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to be reciting it properly. There's no way around it, right? And keep in mind, this is a different language. Let's say you're learning a different language completely, right, which doesn't have the pronunciations you have in that language. You're not going to learn it right away within a week, 2 weeks, a month. Sometimes it may take you 5 months. That's okay. But the important thing is that you are improving, right? Don't look at those around you. Look at yourself and see from week to week. Are you improving? Yes, alhamdulillah. Okay. So just note there, inshallah. Take it easy. Don't be too stressed out. Inshallah, you'll get better. Right now, all I want you to focus is this, whatever we're doing right now, inshallah. That's it. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Someone else. I think, is it Mrs. Jameel? You have your hand up?
Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
Yes.
wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Did you want to participate in the next exercise?
Yes, sir. Last Saturday, I raised my hand, but immediately after that, there was some problem with my device. So I couldn't, I heard you calling me, I couldn't recite.
Okay, no worries. That's fine, inshallah. So we're on number 5 now, right?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فإذا صلح الأشهر الحرام فاقتلوا. And this kha is upper part of the throat. Kha. الشهر ha is a lower part of the throat. Haram ha is middle part of the throat. فاقتلوا المشركين حيث ha is the middle part of the throat.
Okay, now let's go back here just a moment. فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ. Did you hear another letter before the ha?
Ha is upper part of the throat.
Okay, after the ha, did you hear something else? فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ.
Ainun.
Ashhurul.
Not ayn. Miss Jamil, did you hear something else after the ha? Ashhuru. Ashhuru.
Hamza.
Ashhuru. Hamza is upper part, lower part of the throat.
Good. Okay, keep going.
فاقتلوا المشركين حيث وجدتموهم. Ha is the middle part of the throat.
Good.
وجدتموهم. Is the lower part of the throat.
Excellent.
وخذوهم. Ha is upper part of the throat.
Good.
Whom is ha is the lower part of the throat.
Good.
وحصروهم. Ha is middle part of the throat.
Good.
Whom is ha is lower part of the throat.
Good.
وقعدوا. Ain is middle part of the throat.
Good.
لهم ha is lower part of the throat. كل مرصد. كل مرصد. There's no word to form any part of the throat. فَإِن تَابُوا. Hamza is the lower part of the throat.
Good.
وأقاموا. Hamza again is the lower part of the throat.
Good.
وأقاموا الصلاة. Is again lower part of the throat. وآتوا الزكاة. Ka is Hamza. Ha is the lower part of the throat.
Which one are we talking about?
Zakah.
Okay, so when you're continuing, then it's going to be ta, right? وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. So it's not a ha. But we do have something before that here. We have something here. Yeah, we have something here. Hamza.
Hamza is a lower part of the throat.
Good, okay.
And فخلوا. Ha is the upper part of the throat.
Good.
فخلوا سبيلهم. Is the lower part of the throat.
Good.
إن اللوح. Ha is the lower part of the throat. غفور رحيم. Ha is the upper part of the throat. Rahim is the middle part of the throat.
Okay. Now we also have the Hamza from the.
Which one?
Oh, good. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for that. Okay. Now just keep in mind that the word Allah, okay, the word Allah should be read heavy. Okay. Inna Allah. If it has a fatha before it or a dhamma, in this case there's a fatha, so it should be Inna Allah. Okay. If you're having difficulties with that, in English we have this word here, right? How do you say this word? Law. The lam is heavy, right? The lam is heavy here when you say it, law. You don't say la, right? You say Allah. So here, the lam it's also heavy here. Inna Allah. It's similar to, the heavy lam. Okay. Let's see.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
If you want to find this program on YouTube or Google, how should we find it to do the revision?
I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat again from the beginning?
If you want to find this program, Have you put this program on website?
You mean the book?
In the book?
Yeah, the book is on the website, I believe, yes. It's on the website and it's on the Telegram as well. And if you email, I think there was an email that's sent out here.
Yeah, if you go to the website, like simply Quran.com/tajweed, you'll find the resources there. And inshallah, you'll find all the books there, the resources, the notes, as well as the recordings as well.
Inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Here's the website here, simply Quran.com/tajweed. Okay, and you'll get all the resources, the recordings, and everything. Okay, so we finished exercise number 1, right? Quite easy for now. We're only focusing on these letters. Okay. Any questions before we move on?
Yes, sir. Jazakallah khair.
Any questions? You can type it in the chat, or you can ask. Is everyone okay with what's going on so far? Do you understand the exercise and how to do it? Okay, so we have, okay, good. I'm getting some responses. Sister Falida, you said no. 2 is no. Is that what you mean? Do you have a question about anything? Okay, what's your question? I am too fast. Okay, where am I too fast? Or what is too fast? Am I speaking too fast? Am I going?
No, Assalamu alaikum. I think, some of us are really beginners, and for me, I find even challenge in distinguishing between Ainun and Hamza. And sometimes I look at Hamza as Ainun, and so I don't know. Somehow
brother, is your name Shuaib?
No, Shuaib.
Okay. Brother Shuaib, have you studied the Qaida, the letters? Can you recognize the letters?
Yeah, I'm able to recognize some of the letters, but not maybe not all.
Okay. So what you need to do then? This is the advanced class, or you can say this is the next class, right? There's another class that is offered. It's the Qaida class, and perhaps they can send you the link to that. So in that class, I believe they go through the letters. Okay. So this class is for those who can identify the letters and read the Quran. Okay. If you or anyone is having difficulties in recognizing the letters, then perhaps you need to take that class first before you join this one, inshallah. Okay. Yeah, and it's sent right there. Yeah. Simply Quran.com/Qaida. Okay, brother Shuaib. And it goes for anyone else as well. Any other questions? Okay. You can still benefit in this class, that's fine, right? Try to take benefit, that's okay. But for sure, go back to the Qaida for sure, because you need to know how to read. Okay. So areas of the tongue used for articulation. We have here, so just know this is all the anatomy that we need to know for tajweed for now. So you have the back part of the tongue, middle, side, top of the tongue, and tip of the tongue. Okay, look at this picture for a bit. Okay, so now we're moving on to makharij number 5. Makharij number 5. Okay, so let's see here. So we did exercise number 1 here. Exercise number 2 is the letters of the back and middle of the tongue. By the way, I'm moving on here because we already did this last week, right? And I did a review as well. Okay, but if we keep on doing the same thing again, we're not going to move forward, right? And which I'm okay with repeating things. That's not a problem. You can stop me anytime and let me know if it's too fast or whatever. But we did, you guys did have a full week to go through it. And for those catching up, you can catch up. It's not too difficult. Exercise number 2 is the letters of the back and middle of the tongue. Okay, so we have the back part of the tongue and the middle of the tongue. So we're going to work on here. We have the back of the tongue. Okay, and we have 2 letters which come from here. We have the qaf, and then we have the kaf. So let's read number 5. the extreme back of the tongue when touching the palate above it, which is the soft palate. Okay, the soft palate. Just remember that. And the qaf is pronounced from here. And then the back of the tongue, not as far as the back as qaf, because remember, we're starting from the bottom of the throat and going towards the tip of the mouth. So this is not as far, and it's touching the hard palate. So that's the difference between the qaf and the kaf. Sometimes when I ask students, where does qaf come from? They say from the throat. It's not from the throat, it's from the back part of the tongue, touching the palate or the roof above it, okay? So make sure you keep that in mind. And here it says the back part of the tongue refers to that part of the tongue furthest from the mouth, of course. Okay. Then we have the center of the tongue when touching the palate above it. Do you guys know what palate is? The roof of the mouth, right? So we have three letters coming from here. We have the jim, sheen, and ya. Okay, jim, sheen, and ya. So the tongue is touching the middle, and we have three letters, jim, sheen, and ya. Now keep in mind, this is the unlengthened ya, al-ya'u ghayru al-maddiyya, right? Because the ya, which is a mad letter, comes from where? Can someone tell me?
Empty space of the mouth. Jawf.
Very good. That's correct. It comes from the jawf. So here the ya ghayr maddiya is either that ya which is mutaharrika, which bears a fatha dhamma kasra, or which is sakina preceded by fatha. And this letter is called the ya been. So what does that mean? So we're talking about either this ya, u, e, or we're talking about ay. Okay. So if you look here, this ya here, ya, u, e, it has a fatha, it's mutaharrika, that's what that means. Or it's a sakina preceded by fatha. So you can have a hamza before it with a fatha. Ay, and the ya has a sukun, or it can be bay, tay, etc. So this ya here comes from the middle part of the tongue, touching the palate or the roof above it. The other ya, which is the lengthened ya, which has a kasra before it, for example, in the word, this word here, feel, right? You see here, it has a kasra before the ya, not a fatha. So this is the lengthened ya. This comes from al-jawf, not from the middle of the tongue. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Let's go back here. So we have the back of the tongue and the middle of the tongue. That's it. So how many letters do we have here? Someone tell me quickly. What are the letters of the back of the tongue? Qaf and kaf.
Qaf and kaf.
Middle of the tongue, we have the letters. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to. It's opposite now. So yeah, this should be up there. Can I move it this way? There we go. So we have qaf and kaf. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. Okay, let's get rid of all this. So the red, just so I don't confuse you with the colors, let's do that. So middle, back of the tongue, we have qaf and kaf. And then we have the middle of the tongue. We have the jim, sheen. Yeah. Again, I want to emphasize here, if you have, the letters coming from the same place, for example, here, we have the middle of the tongue, we have three letters. What differentiates them? How do we make a difference between between the three letters? It is the sifa, the quality or the characteristic, and we'll get to that, inshallah. Is everyone okay so far?
Yes.
Anyone has any question, please ask. Let's go back here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam, yes.
You know that that you said touches the roof of the mouth.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your question? Yeah, you said it touches the mouth.
Yeah. When does that apply again?
What is the what, sorry?
When does it apply? When does you apply the touching the top of the mouth? I mean top of the palate.
I'm not sure I can hear you properly. So you're saying that the which letters touch the roof of the mouth?
No, so you see that, yeah, in particular. Obviously, one if it comes from the empty mouth and the other one touches the roof of the mouth, right?
Okay.
So I'm asking which one touches the roof of the mouth?
So, okay, so the roof of the mouth is the ya mutaharrik. So that which has a fatha, dhamma, kasra. Okay. So if it has a you, yi. So that's the middle part of the tongue touching the roof. Or there's a fatha before it. It's yi and yi. Okay. So here the hamza has a fatha and the ya is sakina. So it's yi, bayi, hey. Try to say it and you'll see. It's coming from the middle of the tongue. Whereas when you're saying feel, try to say it feel, it's not from the middle, rather from the empty space. Okay.
Yeah, I just have All
right, okay, so look here quickly now. We have two makharij from aqsa al-lisan, which is the back part of the tongue. Okay. Aqsa is the back, right, or the furthermost. So we have the back of the tongue and the soft palate off, and back of the tongue with the hard, we have the calf. So look here, right? So there's the qaf, calf, and it's touching the roof above it, or the palate above it. So here's qaf, and here's calf. Okay. Then we have the middle of the tongue, wasatul lisan. We have one makharij, which has how many letters? 3. Middle of the tongue with the palate, jim, shin, ya. Right, so here, there's the middle touching the roof. Okay. And you can see the differences there. So you have jim, shin, and ya. So jim is here, right? Middle of the tongue with the roof. Shin is here, and ya. Jim, and make sure you're not saying it like a chirping jim, so it's not jim. Okay, it's a common mistake made by some Arabs. They say jim, so it's not jim, rather jim. Jim. There should be no chirping sound. Jim, ja'a, not ja. Okay, ja'a, ja'a, not ja. Sheen is quite easy, right? Everyone can say that one. And yeah, like when you say someone shh, right? And then yeah is quite easy again, like the letter Y. Okay, if anyone has any questions right now, please ask. Okay, so I need someone to do exercise number 1 here. Go ahead. Raise your, someone who has not participated, please go ahead and open your mic and do number 1. So let me do a little bit so you guys understand. So here, qala, qaf comes from the back of the tongue, touching the soft palate above it. Ha comes from, and you're going to add, right? You're going to add. So the ones we did, ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Ha comes from the middle part of the throat. Ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Ha comes from the middle part of the throat. Ha comes from the lower part of the throat. Hamza comes from the lower part of the throat. Kaf comes from the back of the tongue, touching the hard palate. So try saying it, say ka, ek, right? It's like the letter K, whereas qaf, it's right behind it, more towards the throat, okay? And you have the q sound. So very important here with this letter qaf, right? So make sure you're not pronouncing it in between kaf and qaf. So it's not qaf, qaf, qaf. Rather, it's qaf, okay? And, you know, some people make a mistake here with this letter. You know, like, for example, the Egyptian dialect, they'll pronounce the qaf hamza and say ah, right? Or some other dialects, they'll pronounce the qaf like ga, right? So just keep that in mind as well, that it should be qaf. Okay. Okay, where are we now? So we did, yes. Is it possible to show these letters using the very first diagram? You mean in the other book? Sure, we'll do that in a second here. So we have khalaqaka, kha is from the upper part of the throat, qaf is from the back part of the tongue, touching the soft palate, kaf is the back part of the tongue, touching the hard palate. What else here? Kaf again, back part of the tongue, touching the hard palate, and that's it. You're going to do the same exercises like that, okay? Okay, let's go ahead to the other book. Someone requested to see the letters there. I don't know if it's a good picture there, that's why I went to the other book, but let's see. I think the other book I showed you that was a good diagram, to be honest, but let's have a look here. I think what you're referring to, who was this? His sister, is it Maryam? Were you referring to this one here? This diagram here? Okay, yeah. So, I mean, this is not that accurate, but the other book was pretty good. But let's have a look here. So if you have the throat here, right, lower, middle, top, and then you have the tongue here. So there's the tongue all the way here. So this is the furthest part of the tongue right here, for example. Okay, so qaf would be like right here, for example. Now this is not precise, right? But just to get an understanding, qaf would be here. Kaf might be here, for example. Okay, so it's touching the hard palate above it. And the qaf is the soft part. So to understand the soft part, if you were to take your finger and put it down your throat, don't do this, obviously. And once you get to that point where you feel like you're about to vomit, that's where you get the qaf from, basically. Okay, yeah, so people are asking about the breakout room, that's fine. We have about 10 minutes, inshallah. And I don't expect you to do all this exercise, that's fine. All I want you to do, honestly, if you guys even can just do exercise number 1, bit of 2, that's perfect. If you can do more, that's good. This will be for homework, of course. And inshallah, next week, we're going to do this lesson again. Okay, so don't get worried. We're going too fast. That's fine. We're going to do it again. We're going to revise, inshallah. I do want to do one quick thing here before, actually, yeah, let's do this one thing here and then we'll break out. Just a quick review. So how many makharij did we do quickly? Right, in English, so it's easy. Al-jawf. How many makharij of the throat did we do?
3.
Good. We have the top, middle, bottom, throat, right? And then we did back of the tongue. Have soft palate. There we go. Palate. Okay. And what else do we do? Middle of tongue.
You mentioned the empty space right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's okay. Al-jawf. We did al-jawf. Although we're not doing that right now in the exercise, and I'll tell you why later. We'll do that later. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 makharij. Okay. If we include al-jawf, there's 7. Okay. If not, then there's 6. And how many letters do we have? So throat has, top has. Yeah, next, middle we have. All right. And bottom we have.
Hamza.
Of tongue, soft palate is off, hard palate is
Kaf.
In middle of tongue we have Jim.
Shin, Jim, Shin, and Ya.
Very good. And this is the Ya which is not lengthened. Okay. So this is the Ya غير المادية. It's not the stretched one. So if it's mutaharrika, it has a fatha dhamma kasra, ya yu, or it has a fatha before it, ay baytay. Okay. And these letters, if you try to say them, and again, this is going to be your homework, inshallah. Let me write it here because if I don't write homework, I think people don't do it, right? So let's write here. Homework. Just review the first few pages. Definitions. What does that mean? Like, what is tajweed? The ruling of tajweed, types of mistakes, so on and so forth. Let me try to make this text smaller. Having some difficulties. Okay, that's okay. Just put it over here. So that's your homework there. That's one part of your homework. Another part, of course, is to review makharij. And I just did that right now. So we did 7 makharij with all the letters, right? And then your other homework is to do exercise 1 and or as much as you can, as much as you can 2. What I'm talking about when I say exercise 1 and 2, I'm talking about the other book, all right, the one that has the exercise. Is it possible if we can get the textbook? I think everything is on the website. Am I correct? We have both books on the website, right?
Yes, should be there under resource.
Here's the website there. So everyone, please save this because we're getting this asked quite a bit, and I know some people are joining later and so on. But there is I think there's a Telegram channel, there's a website, there's email. So please go ahead and make use of these resources. And of course, if you don't have the book, how are you going to do the exercises? Download that, inshallah. Okay, so that is the homework, and I'm talking about the book which has the exercises, inshallah. So I'm talking about page number 109. We're going to do page number 107. This should be done, right? This is your homework for sure. You should do all of this by next week. If you can, try to do at least 1 or 2, or try to do all of them if you can, inshallah, of exercise number 2. And we're going to do this one again next time. So what's going to happen next time? We're almost out of time. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Next class, inshallah, we're going to start off with exercise number 2. Okay. So right in the beginning of the class, we're going to have the breakout rooms, and we're going to go through exercise 2. The sisters will go with the sisters teacher, and then we'll have the other 2 rooms, inshallah, and we'll do this full exercise, and then we'll move on to the lesson. How's that? I think that's better, inshallah, because we don't want to rush it. So if you have any questions, please ask right now before we conclude this lesson.
I have a question. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Where is the book? I don't know from which website I have to download the book.
Okay. Brother Saeed, Sheikh Saeed, can you actually just do a share screen and show them how to get access to the site, or even just post it here, the book?
Yes, I can show you just one second.
Oh, okay. I think Sister Nabila actually just sent the link here. Yeah.
And I'll go ahead.
My name is Makhārij Malik. Can you email me the link so that I can download the book?
Yes. So if you go to that site, once again, it's in the chat, but simplyquran.com/tajweed. Click on the view resources. So you'll see 2 current sessions that are already uploaded. One is the introduction, lesson 1, and then lesson 2, Makhārij. So if you click on the Makhārij, you go down here, you'll see the download PDF. So this is the Murshid book, and the exercise book. Okay, and you can see the notes have been summarized for you as well here. And then you can watch the videos too here. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Okay, thank you, brother.
Okay, any other questions? If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we'll conclude the lesson. And also the other resource, I don't know if that was sent out actually, regarding the pronunciation. Let me see if that was sent out. Give me a second here. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm going to pull up something here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Afternoon, sir. Sir, due to the instance that I'm just